I read hot takes generated by InspireBot, the motivational and inspirational quote generator, and I discussed them in this video. This is where I'd like to give a very special warning to a specific group of individuals, saying, warning, if you are easily offended or feel uncomfortable discussing real world topics like politics, religion, prejudice, race, stuff like that in general, it is heavily advised that you do not watch this video. But if you're down to debate and discuss and argue, which, to be honest, most humans are, cool. I'm definitely going to lose viewers over this, so let's just get it done and over with. Let's get into that video. Future me, start the intro. Alright, we have InspireBot here. This is the AI that generates supposedly motivational and inspirational quotes, but most of them tend to be very specific hot takes that are very opinionated. So we're going to look at them, and I expect to lose viewers through this, but that's okay, because as some people would say, before you make it to the top, you gotta get sent back down to the bottom. So, let's roll. Number one, what do we have in store? Let the government bleed you dry. Well, first off, there's a little bit of a spelling slash grammar error there. It's not bleed you, it should be bleed you dry. Let the government bleed you dry. Bleed me dry of what? Money? Creativity? Freedom? There's a lot of things that this quote could be in context for. That I'm going to leave up to you, viewers who are watching this video. Next one. What do we got? Someone should realize their own mistakes. Why not you? I mean, most of the time, I've realized my own mistakes. I've had a couple moments where I have been ignorant and I have been foolish and I've not realized and admitted to my own mistakes. But we're not all perfect. It's just that some of us are worse than the rest. Anyways, moving on. Inform people that you are getting up in the morning. Well, why would I do that? The only people who know what time I get up in the morning are the people I live with, aka my family. And you see, nobody else really knows what time I wake up at unless we have a conversation about this. Like, I don't just actively get up in the morning at like 6 a.m. and then text everybody on my phone, hey guys, I just woke up. How are you all doing this morning? No, that's weird. Anyone who does that, I would consider maybe needs to be talked to a little bit about social. Anyways, moving on. What's the next hot take? If you are being bullied in the dream, it is time to learn to enjoy the dream. So, so you want me to enjoy a dream where I'm being bullied? What is this? I mean, the only time I'll enjoy a dream where I'm getting bullied is if there's like some epic comeback story, or there's like some point where this bully, whoever it is, gets punished, and I have my revenge. Now that is a dream to enjoy. Humanity is so beautiful. Debatable. Ensure that a store clerk puts on pants. Well, I don't know who came up with the idea that this is a good quote for society. I mean, if people see, I don't feel this one because this has never happened to me. A store clerk puts on pants, and sure, so like, has this ever happened to anyone where they've walked into a store and the worker's not wearing pants? Is that something that's happened to people? Is that actually a thing that happened to somebody? Because that's crazy. If that's ever happened to you, that worker who did that, I would consider them. I mean, I won't go too far, but odd, a little bit socially awkward. You know, that stuff. Anyways, next, feel the wisdom compiled within you. Don't try to be popular. Duck and cover. Well, essentially, what this is telling me is quit YouTube. It's not worth it. Go back to living your normal life. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people we could throw this at right now, and they would feel pretty. They would feel hit hard by it. But we're we're gonna leave this alone for now. However, this is one I might save, mainly because I think it fits the scenario. All right, what do we got? Search for pleasure, obey salvation, expect your fears. Well, this one looks like a mix of three different things. Search for pleasure and obey salvation. Expect your fear. I mean, this just feels all around messy. I mean, obey salvation sounds like a religious thing. And then you've got search for pleasure, which most religions are against. And then expect your fears, which is something you are not taught in school. You are taught to be brave. Or at least in their definition of brave, go tell the teacher that you're being bullied so they will proceed to not give an entire fuck about what's happening, and then you are left to die in the dust. Anyways, this quote was pretty much useless to me. Moving on. Try to be yourself. Talk very, very loud. And the young will put on your clown makeup. Well, this just sounds like another quote directed at YouTubers. Except the ones with terrible communities. Dream. Anyways, not much here. Next one. Moving on. Man, I don't know how many more of these I could do. Make nukes acceptable within the home. How about not promoting mass world destruction? This reminds me of that Timcast quote. Didn't he say once that like everybody should have a nuke at home, or like everybody at home should have access to nukes? Didn't he say something like that? I think this quote would fit perfectly for him. I don't know if he's changed his opinion since then, but if he still has that belief, good quote for him. Gives him something he can roll with. Anyways, moving on, because we can always count on InspireBot. Exploiting heaven is easy if you join a secret society. If you join a secret society, uh, Catholic reading says heaven is not for you. Also, what do you mean exploiting heaven? There is no exploiting heaven. Half the people in the world don't even get to heaven. So like, what makes you think you can exploit heaven? You can't exploit something that is only reachable after you have died. It doesn't work like that. And if you join a secret society, you've joined a cult, which in religious readings across all world religions, if you join a cult, that is disgraceful against whatever god you believe in, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Anyways, moving on. Spirituality is an insult. Spirituality is not an insult, but I would say that spirituality can be controversial depending on how people treat. Like, let's say, like, I'll give you for example, Catholics, Catholicism, and me as a Catholic myself can say, Catholicism, for the most part, is very good. But when you've got Catholic priests running around touching kids, it puts a bad image on Catholicism, and it makes people go, Catholicism is an insult to society, which sucks because I truly believe that an entire community should not be responsible for one person's actions unless the community willingly supports said action. So, like, let's say the Catholic priest gets caught touching all the children, but then all the Catholic people in the church go, he was doing the right thing. He's a good man. You know, that's when spirituality can come off as an insult to society, and I understand that. But that's why people exist. There are people who want to make things better, and religion could be helped to be made better if people would actually follow the rules that their religion gives them. However, that's a rare commodity these days. Anyway, moving on. Of course, life has meaning. Yes, it does have life meaning. Egos spend longer time on the toilet than others. Well, I think the reason is because if you have an ego, you are typically a famous person. And if you are a famous person, you have to hide in the toilet because you don't know how many fans are going to be waiting outside that bathroom when you walk out. So, honestly, makes sense. Next, with average exercises come average prejudices. Well, it depends on what do you mean by average exercises. Are we talking about like jobs? Are we talking about school? What's the context? You see, that's the thing about these quotes is they don't provide. You're not meant to be provided context, which causes the human brains of everyone to react in different ways to this quote. See, one person might think it as, oh, the way schools treat minorities, or some people go, oh, the way certain groups treat white people. It it could be a different thought in everybody's brain. Now, granted, no one's going to agree with each other because it wouldn't be human nature then. But there is a line that does get crossed, and it shouldn't get crossed. But as long as people act like humans and think like humans, people are gonna cross it. Would I love to stop people crossing that line? Yes. But not all things can be made come to true, unfortunately. Anyways, moving on. I'm the first inspirational quote AI. Yes, we know. Constipation works on paper. I mean, I mean, if you wanted to have constipation, all you gotta do is go to freaking Taco Bell. I mean, geez, they got all the constipation there. I mean, geez, you eat one taco and you're pretty much set for you're pretty much guaranteed the next couple days. So, I mean, technically not wrong, I guess. I don't really know if it works on paper, though, but it does stuff. You might not like it, but it does stuff. Anyways, moving on. Get me out of here. Desperation is to fool what appears to be unfoolable. Okay, well, first off, I would take away. Actually, I don't know if I would take it. This quote is actually pretty accurate. Accurate. There are many people in the world who struggle with life. Things don't go as planned, and they get desperate for it. Like, for example, and this could happen with any field, any scenario whatsoever. Like, let's say, I don't know, a good example. Kevin Durant doesn't win a championship with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He gets desperate. What does he do? He gets fooled into joining the Warriors to become a super team, thinking that people are going to believe in his legacy still. And people thought Kevin Durant was this massive star player who people could look up to and people could believe in. And then he left. And he became potentially one of the most hated players in NBA history. Anyways, moving on. We're going to do a couple more here, I think. Serving humanists since 2015. Disinterested in religion? It's probably because of inequality. I mean, I wouldn't say inequality. There's definitely inequality sometimes, but I wouldn't say it's always because of inequality. You know, I'll go back to that Catholic Church thing. When the priests get caught touching children, people lose faith. This has happened. The Catholic Church I went to, we had a priest. I won't say names because not to cause any shit, but we had a priest who had some problems. He was accused. He resigned. He realized he messed up and he apologized and he went to go get a bunch of he had went to go like a bunch of therapy and all this stuff, good for them. But in that process, a lot of people got disinterested with the Catholic Church. A lot of people lost faith and left that day. A lot of people, and ever since that all stuff came out, I've had to live with my life wondering how many more people are going to make the Catholic priests touching kids joke. Because every time the joke gets made, it hits me because it's my community. And even though I'm not responsible for their actions, it still hits me because the community that I once loved and knew, and still love to this day, has been devalued into ruins because a group of about maybe 1,000 priests around the world have been found guilty of this stuff. So, it's unfortunate and it sucks. But things happen and we just got to move on. So, that's my take on this quote. I wouldn't say inequality. I'd say suspicious actions, or however you want to put that. Anyways, moving on. I think this will be the last one. I'll never run out of inspirational quotes. That's good. Be the first human being to try to sacrifice what no one else wants to sacrifice. Now this is a good one. There are a lot of people in the world who talk so high and mighty of, oh, all this stuff they do, and you know, all the good oh, I'm such a good person because I'm rich and famous and everybody loves me. Ah. See, this quote right here is truthful only because I personally believe that this quote is the embodiment of what Mr. Beast does. Mr. Beast has sacrificed so much to help other people. He sacrificed a lot of money. He gave away a lot of money. And yeah, he makes it all back. Well, guess what? He sacrifices it again. He's constantly giving away money. You know, he sacrificed family time. He sacrificed college. He sacrificed college to take a big, arguably one of the biggest gambles a YouTuber's ever done. And it worked for him. He was willing to sacrifice to make it and to make his dreams come true. Heck, even now, he sacrifices time, his energy. He doesn't even, he hardly even lives in his, he hardly even lives in a home anymore. His home is his office. He lives where he works. Not to mention, he sacrifices time. He sacrifices a lot of his time to do this stuff. And you know, Mr. Beast is very special in the fact that he doesn't get drained very quickly from what he does. He's been doing this at this pace for at least 4 years now, and he hasn't stopped. He keeps going. That is sacrificing. No one else wants to sacrifice money. No one else wants to sacrifice time. No one else wants to sacrifice college. Unless they know it's guaranteed to work. Mr. Beast, he didn't know that it was going to work, but he was willing to make the sacrifices to do what he wanted to do, and it just ended up working out. That is a powerful statement. Anyways, this has been Carson and this has been Carson in the Inferno. We went over these very hot takes from these quotes. I definitely lost viewers over this, but you know, oh well. Anyways, thank you all for watching. This has been your boy, and I'll catch all of you in the next video that will be posted on Tuesday. Anyways, see ya.